being from the customer service side of business when I was in retail to this is even more customer service oriented, because what's up, Sean Hayes? You have to understand what the customer's thinking. Sometimes in our prideful way as car salespeople in particular, but anybody, we tend to think like we want to think and not like, yeah, woo, and not like the customer thinks. So, and I'm not going to pick on any one particular group, but I am going to bring up the smoking aspect of it. Listen, I don't care if you smoke. I mean, that's really up to you. I particularly don't like it. I can't stand it. I can't be around it. It's almost like I'm allergic to it. But if you spend half your day smoking, and then you go out and talk to a customer, now this may be the only customer you talk to all day, and maybe you spend 5 minutes with them, they leave, or you work numbers with them, they leave. You know, sometimes we tend to blame the customer for them leaving or walking out or whatever. But maybe it's you. Maybe just the stench of cigarette smoke all over you ran them off. I mean, I could be wrong on that. And of course, it don't help to go out there and spray all that body spray on there either. That don't help either. But does anybody know what I'm talking about? I mean, I don't want to pick on one particular group because there's a couple other things I'm going to touch on. But I mean, I see it all the time, and I'm like, I can't understand. And of course, they tell you during interviews, when you take an interview, you know, don't put it on too much perfume or cologne, because that could be harmful as well. But think about it. You stand back there and smoke 10, 15 cigarettes a day, and you come out and you talk to a customer, and the first thing that hits them is one of two things. It's either the smoke coming off of you or your breath. So do me a favor. If you want to be customer oriented, think about what the customer thinks first. It's difficult to do sometimes, I know, but you got to understand, if you're having trouble getting customers anyway, and like right now, you know, you're having to be more internet driven, getting customers in there. You finally get that customer in there, and they wind up with a salesperson that smells like cigarette smoke. Yeah, I promise you, a customer comes on, I don't care if they do smoke. They'll ask you if a car's been smoked in, right? A lot of times. And it's either yes or no, obviously. But if they're asking that about the car, what are they thinking about the salesman? Is that the next question they're going to interview when they get an internet call from the internet department? If you're going to put them in a salesperson, can I get one that doesn't smoke or doesn't smell like smoke? Has that salesman been smoked in or smoked on? So that's just something that kind of was irking me a little bit today. And I wanted to talk about it because we lose customers all the time. But please don't make it because you smell like cigarette smoke. Something else. Come to work professional. We typically wear polo shirts and dress slacks or whatever. But one thing that bothers me is if your shirt's not ironed, it's all wrinkled. Sometimes that comes off, and I'm not saying this is the case, but sometimes that comes off as you being lazy. And I think sometimes customers see those things and we wonder why they leave. I could be wrong, and like I said, you know, sometimes it's tough to learn these things and grow from them, but not looking people in the eyes, things like that, all those things are ways that you can run customers off. But I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest ones, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but cigarette smoker runs some people off. Why do you think they banned it out of most restaurants and around public buildings? Now a lot of times you can't even smoke within 20 or 30 feet of a door going into a public building. If that's the case, what do you think the customer's thinking when they come up on the lot and they get hit with a bunch of smoke before you even say anything? So first impressions, remember that. First impressions matter regardless of what you're doing. But think about it as you are the customer. If you're the customer, is that something that you would want? Some people may say yes, I don't know. But take that in consideration today. Because right now, in this business in particular, or in sales in general, what's up, Donnie, Matt? We're having to drive traffic from other places. What's up, Don Box? We're driving traffic from other places, and when they get to the lot, we're losing them. Well, we got to stop doing the things that are running them off. That's number one, learning how to talk to them. But when they get here, you have to be ready to go. Now, I could talk about product knowledge, people not knowing what they're talking about, and I've talked about some of those things before, but I think that sometimes when you walk up on somebody, that breeze from that smoke hits them, and they're turned off right away. Even if the vehicle that they're fixing to look at hasn't been smoked in, they smell it on you. It's an impression, man. I'm just telling you. So no matter what business you're in, no matter what profession you're in, think about those things, because it's tough. You're selling $100,000+ homes. You're selling $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicles. You can at least act, look, and smell like you can sell that car and buy that house or that car. So, yeah, man, I hope that everybody has a good night tonight. It's going to be cold here in Alabama. If you're off tomorrow, you'll have a great day off. But as we come into the end of this year, you can't miss opportunities with customers that you're only going to get one shot at. I don't know about most of y'all's internet departments or BDC departments, but sometimes it takes 10, 15, 20 calls to get those guys on the phone and get an appointment for them. And then we wonder why they're on the lot 5 minutes and they leave. I'm not saying that's it, but that could be. It could be who they're getting. What person on this lot that's not professional, that looks lazy, that smokes, that, you know, does all these things that's it's like spraying on bug spray for bugs. I mean, it's funny how that stuff works, but we tend to do it to customers. But anyway, hope everybody has a great evening. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to share it, share it. If not, that's fine too. I love you guys anyway. Hope y'all have a good evening. Y'all stay warm. This has been Facebook Live with the Fist Pump Guy, selling cars the right way, because it's the only way I know. Follow the Fist Pump Enterprise.